If you're 50 years old with zero in savings, you might just think that retirement is impossible, that you've missed your chance, that you're going to be working forever. But what if I told you that you can go from zero to $1 million in just 10 years? Well, that's exactly what today's case study Diane did. At 50, she had nothing saved, but she wasn't lazy. She had spent her 30s and 40s going back to school while raising a family as a single mother. By the time she got her master's degree and landed a great paying job at 50, she realized that retirement wasn't just around the corner, it wasn't even in sight. But instead of panicking, she built a plan, and today, at 60, she's officially retired with over $1 million in the bank. So how'd she do it? That's what we're about to break down in this video. And the first thing that she focused on wasn't what most people would expect. Well, if you're new here, I'm Jonathan Rankin. I'm the founder and CEO of Theorem Wealth. We're a retirement planning firm that helps people across the country plan and execute their retirement goals, and I've been doing this for going on 20 years now. See, most people think that when you get a late start, that the only way to catch up is by chasing big investment returns, trying to time the market, trying to pick stocks, or find that next hot trend that's going to quadruple in a few months. That's exactly what Diane thought at first. She spent hours watching the market, reading up on investing, and stressing about how to turn nothing into something fast. But here's where she had a breakthrough. Even if somehow she managed to get a 15% annual return, which is nearly impossible to sustain, on a small amount of savings, it wouldn't even move the needle fast enough. Just think about it. A 15% rate of return on $10,000 is only $1,500 a year. That's not going to change your future. See, here's the brutal truth. Compounding works best when you have time. And when you're starting at 50, you don't have 30 or 40 years for investments to snowball. And that's when she had her first big breakthrough. Instead of trying to chase market returns, she needed to chase income. Because Diane was a young single mother, she had to go back to school in her 30s and 40s. She was investing time, effort, and money into her financial future, but not in the way that most people think of when investing for retirement. See, the year before she turned 50, she had finished her master's degree and almost doubled her salary from $85,000 to $160,000 in 2 years. Now, how? Well, she didn't just take the first job that she was offered. She researched her industry, figured out her market value, and negotiated extremely aggressively. She invested in high-income skills. Instead of settling into her job and being complacent, she took additional certifications that made her even a bigger asset to her company. She changed jobs strategically. Instead of staying loyal to just one employer, she leveraged her experience to jump to a higher-paying role. And this is the key. Every extra dollar that she earned was fuel for her retirement plan. And the result? Well, she went from being able to save a couple $100 a month to saving over $5,000 a month. Now, it sounds amazing, but earning more doesn't mean much if you spend it all. And that's where Diane made her next smart move. See, Diane heard all of the classic financial advice. Just stop buying lattes, cut everything out, and live on rice and beans, and get down to the bare bones. But she had no interest in that kind of lifestyle. You see, she wanted to retire comfortably, but she didn't want to spend a decade suffering just to reach a certain number. So when her income doubled, she thought, well, this is what I had worked for. It's finally time I get to upgrade my lifestyle, get a nicer home, better vacations, even a brand new car. Because she felt like she had earned it. It's taken her this long to get that far. But then she took a hard look at her spending, and even with her new salary, her spending habits would keep her working well into her late 60s and even 70s. And she realized what she saved mattered more than what she made. So she needed a system to grow her savings fast without feeling like she was depriving herself. So she set a hard rule. Every raise, every bonus, every extra dollar went straight into savings first. She didn't live on rice and beans. She didn't eliminate everything that she loved. She simply prioritized what actually made her happy. And it would have been easy for Diane to change her lifestyle completely as her earnings went up, but she was thinking about her future. And with all the stories about the retirement crisis, Diane knew that she had to make up for time because she had spent so much time not saving. She had a lot to make up for. Instead of spending all of her new $160,000 salary, she actually decided to go back to the lifestyle that she had before she got the raise and living off of the old salary, so that way she saved over 50% of her new salary. And by year 5, her net worth crossed over $500,000. But she wasn't done yet, because here's the real question. Even if you save aggressively, can you actually retire in 10 years? You see, at 55, Diane had over $500,000 saved, and she had a big decision to make. She could coast, keep working for another 15 years and retire with multiple millions, or she can go all in and retire by 60. She knew she had one final challenge. How do you make your money last? See, Diane had a real fear. What if I run out of money? See, she had seen so many people retire early only to end up going back to work. And it's because they didn't plan properly, and she didn't want to make that mistake. So she reached out to us and we ran the numbers. She structured her withdrawals so she wouldn't outlive her money, built a cash buffer, which was enough cash to cover 5 years of living expenses, and she kept investing even after retiring so that her money could continue to grow. And at age 60, she officially retired. She had done it. She went from zero at 50 to $1 million at 60, not through luck, not through guessing, through intentional strategic choices. And if you think it's too late for you, well, Diane's story proves that it's not, because the only thing stopping you from retiring isn't your age, it's your plan. And that's exactly why we created something to help you build your own retirement plan without all of the guesswork. See, most retirement calculators give you this generic number, but that's not how real retirement planning works. Your retirement isn't just about a big number on a screen, it's about your life, your goals, and your financial situation. And that's why we built something different. We created a quick, free quiz that gives you a personalized retirement analysis, not just a number, but an actual strategy based on your unique situation. And here's how it works. Just answer a few simple questions about your income, savings, and retirement goals. We analyze your responses and craft a customized retirement roadmap tailored just for you. You'll get clear next steps so you know exactly what you need to do to retire on your terms. It's fast, free, and built to give you real answers, not generic guesses. So if you're wondering how much do you actually need to retire, well, click the link below to take the quiz and get your personalized plan today. Now let's look at the specifics of the plan if you find yourself in a similar place to Diane, so you can help visualize exactly what retirement might look like in 10 years from now. So let's dive into the plan. So this is Diane. She just turned 50 years old. Her income beforehand was $85,000. Now, had she just continued to maintain her lifestyle, and at the time she was only able to save 6% of her salary, and she was getting a 6% match, but even with that, with the retirement goal of retiring at 60 years old with $55,000 of after-tax income, as you can see, she wouldn't be successful when it comes down to the retirement. As you can see, if she retired at 60 years old with living off of $55,000 of after-tax income, not having that increase in savings, she'd have a 0% probability of success. In fact, for her to be able to retire to live off of that $55,000 a year, she'd have to retire at 66 years old, which is a lot longer than she really wanted to work. Or she can reduce her spending and spend $36,000 a year of after-tax income, which that's just not enough for her to maintain her lifestyle. So by getting that new job and being able to save as aggressively as she could, she went from a 0% probability of success to a 98% probability just by increasing her savings. As you can see, her portfolio assets continue to increase, and she reached well over $1 million by the time she was 60. And this isn't factoring in these astronomical rates of return of 12, 15, or 20%. This is looking at her getting just a little over 8% per year over the next 10 years. So if you find yourself in a similar situation as Diane, just remember, it's possible if you do it. But as you can see, her net savings every single year was pretty significant. She's saving well over $60,000, almost $70,000 per year. So you have to be disciplined to be able to do this. But in Diane's case, she was. And she was very disciplined because she knew she wanted to stop working at age 60. She'd done all this hard work to get herself to this point, and now it's time for her to reap those rewards. You just have to know that it is possible. Now, of course, Diane could have continued to increase her lifestyle as her income continued to go up, but she didn't do that. She continued to stack away every single month and every single year more and more into savings because she knew she had this long-term goal in place. So just because you got a late start to retirement savings doesn't mean that retirement is impossible. One of the hardest parts about achieving retirement success, especially starting later in life, is ignoring the outside noise. For example, just do a quick Google search for the biggest retirement mistakes, and almost every single article out there is likely to mention that if you didn't save early enough, you're making one of the biggest mistakes, which is only going to make you feel worse. I mean, of course, starting earlier would have been a lot better, but sometimes life happens. And in the case of Diane, life happened. She was a single mother. She wasn't able to actually save as aggressively as she wanted to. She couldn't go to school, and it took her time to get the degree that she needed to increase her income. So instead of making yourself feel worse about your situation, focus on the fact that you are doing what you need to do to get back on track. Now, if you want to see withdrawal strategies that were analyzed for someone like Diane, then make sure you check out this video coming up next, and I will see you there.